Hey, it's Alex. You might know me from Bat Lessons. I'm one of the hosts on the show, and thought I might show you my library. I just moved into this house in November, and it's the first chance that I've had, or first opportunity to like actually have all my books on shelves. At my old house, I had like only three of these narrow sections, so like there's these bigger ones, right? But there's also these small ones. I had three of those at my old house, and that's all the books I could have on the shelves. So I had a lot of stuff in like a closet and in boxes and things. And for the most part, it's all out now. I do have a few trade paperbacks that are still in boxes, and some reorganizing I need to do. Like, for example, I'm gonna double stack manga, which I might talk about more later. Eventually, so I can have my manga take up like half the shelf space that it does right now. Um, you might think from the show that Batman is my favorite character, and I do like Batman, but I honestly wouldn't say that it is. I mean, it's definitely up there, but is the podcast is just an opportunity for Brian and I to hang out and connect on something we have in common, and for me to learn more. But I think you'll find as we go through that I have a lot more interest than just that. We're not going to go super in depth on everything because I don't have a ton of time. And you'll also find that like stuff isn't very well organized, for which I apologize. But if you like it, if you like the video, then maybe we'll do it again sometime, and it'll be better organized. I'll have some new books, and we'll take a closer look at some things maybe. So we'll start with World of Warcraft. Here's all the collector's editions for everything. Um, I honestly I only really played from Wrath all the way through. These are swapped, I guess. Battle for Azeroth. I didn't really play Shadowlands at all. Um, but I was really, really into it. I was a healer, paladin healer. We did 25 man when that was a thing, and then Mythic when that was a thing. But then I had a kid. I have a 3-year-old son, and then I just didn't have time anymore. So I don't really play WoW anymore. But I really like the lore and the art and the music, and so I like displaying the collector's editions. Um, Doomsday Clock is here because the top shelf is taller than all the others, and it doesn't fit on my normal shelves. I would say that Spider-Man is actually probably my favorite character. So here I have all of the Epic collections, or at least it was all at one point in time. I think I might be one or two behind now. They keep coming out. Um, and then I have kind of an Omni format, just starting with the Todd McFarlane stuff. I honestly haven't read either of these yet, but I'd like to. The JMS run, which I really really like. I'm looking forward to the brand new Day Omni, even though I read that on Marvel Unlimited and didn't really like it as much, but it's nice to have that sort of following on. And I believe the Superior Spider-Man Omni is literally being delivered to me today in the mail, so that's exciting. Ultimate Spider-Man, huge fan of it. Definitely kind of my definitive Spider-Man. I have all of the trade paperbacks for Ultimate Spider-Man. I bought them, used when there were individual volumes that were crazy expensive. Before they started reprinting the Omnibus and doing the new volumes. So, but that's in a closet. I have some kind of long box shelves that are in there right now. Spider-Man Life Story, super good. I love Chip Zdarsky and what he's doing on Batman right now. I did order the Chip Zdarsky Omnibus before I remembered that I already had Life Story in oversized format. I probably will get rid of it just because I don't have room, and not necessarily a fan of the rest of his Spider-Man work, but Life Story is super good. All of Deceased, love Deceased. I would love if they put this out in Omnibus at some point, although sometimes when there are like a standalone series and then like follow-up series that I don't like as much, I like to have them in the smaller format. So like Batman White Knight and Long Halloween, I actually end up getting like individual volumes. So it might be cool if this had like oversized hardcovers, because then you can just pick the one up off the shelf and not feel like you're rereading one part of the Omni over and over and over again. But we'll see what happens. Superman Up in the Sky, Tom King. I love Tom King. His Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is really great. His Batman's really great. Sort of must read one off if you get the chance. A bunch of random trades. Justice League, I haven't even read all of this. Valkyrie, Avengers, Original Sin, which is an event that I really, really like. In Marvel, I think it got a lot of undue hate. Saga, Starman, haven't read them yet, honestly. Nightwing Year One, haven't read it. This is going to be embarrassing. I've read like maybe half the books on my bookshelf. Maybe less. I don't know. We're going to find out. Nightwing Rebirth, which I like. This is just kind of like I said, this is not well organized. Some of these things are grouped with like things. And some of it's just like wherever I found a spot. So I'd like to sort of redo it at some point. But I really enjoy the Darth Vader runs on Star Wars post like reboot or whatever, or uncanoning post Disney. And the Jason Aaron Star Wars is really good as well. I haven't had a chance to read Dr. Aphra or the Old Republic yet. I love Donny Cates. His Venom run is super good. It's the only Venom I've ever read. Like I picked up these Epic collections to try to catch up, but haven't had a chance. But I can tell you that like I've read every Marvel book that Donny Cates has done, and loved every last one. Crisis on Infinite Earths, gotta have it. Love having it in Oversized. A bunch of random Epic collections. So we've got, Star Wars, and I've read a bunch of these, although not all of them. I used to have the original Marvel Years Omnis and read them, but started picking up Epics instead because it took up a lot of shelf space. I've read the first couple Empire. I've read War Machine, I think. Just one of these. Or no. It was Star Wars, I think. I can't remember. I've only read one of the Iron Man epics. This is so embarrassing. I haven't read any of my Thor epics yet. I read Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the first epic for Avengers. Haven't read Moon Knight yet. Secret Wars is like one of the roughest events you'll ever read. If you're into modern comics, you will not enjoy Secret Wars. Save yourself the trouble. I mean, it's important and it's like foundational, and there's reasons that the history is good to know, but like the event itself is like there's basically no story, and it goes on forever. I have a ton of New 52 trades, and they're just like randomly strewn about. This is the Flash stuff that's after the Francis Manapul Omnibus. Frankenstein, I read, really liked it. Demon Knights, haven't had a chance to read it yet. I love Scooby-Doo. I'm not gonna lie, Scooby-Doo Batman comics are ridiculous, and I love them. Avengers No Surrender, haven't had a chance to read yet. Hickman, Fantastic Four, I have, and I've got the other volumes of it somewhere. Runaways, I'm basically all the way caught up. I'm not sure. On the complete collections anyway. I know there's runs that have happened since the complete collections were put out. I'm like halfway through Bendis' Avengers run. These aren't even in order. I'm a little embarrassed. I need to finish that up. But yeah, enjoyed it a lot. Secret Empire, Civil War 2, have it so that you can string together continuity. Secret Invasion. Second Coming is super fun. Love that book. Kind of a ridiculous take on, Jesus and superheroes. It's exactly as irreverent and ridiculous as it sounds. Ms. Marvel, I love. I really hope that at some point they reprint the Omni and then print the follow-ups so that we can get the full G. Willow Wilson run on an oversized format. I would love that. But right now I have it all in trades. Athena Voltaire is a indie one that I got on Kickstarter. It's all right. This is all I've read of Death and Return of Superman. I need to read the rest at some point. I've got the other trades somewhere. Giga was a really good independent book that my comic book shop recommended to me, and I was reading off the rack for a long time. Or I guess as long as it was coming out. I think it's like 6 issues or something like that. I have a bunch of other Krakoa era X-Men in Oversized, but they didn't fit on these shelves. Buffy. I also have the sort of Omnibus Digest editions of the Buffy stuff that was happening at the same time as the show was out. This is what came out after the show. Big fan of Buffy. Walking Dead. I'm actually currently reading the remastered, like the color versions of Walking Dead. So I don't even know why I own it in black and white, because I've been picking up the single issues and reading those. But I was really big on Rebirth. I'm not even going to try to talk about it all, but I've got like every series basically in trade paperback and Rebirth, and a lot for New 52 as well. Sandman Universe stuff. I am like halfway through Sandman right now, and haven't read any of the rest of it, not gonna lie. A bunch of books this is so embarrassing. I have so many books I've never even read. Thor by Jason Aaron was one of the first comic books I ever read. Really enjoyed it. 0 Hour is another one. You know, I've just got the events to string it together. Death Metal. So you get all the context. Final Crisis, Secret Wars, Kingdom Come. I guess I just got a bunch of random events there. 52. Haven't had a chance to read that one yet. Yeah, so that's the first bookcase. And then let's go ahead and start on the second, I guess. That is the Ragnaros that came with the 15-year WoW anniversary edition. My son broke my panda from Miss Pandaria from World of Warcraft. I have the other piece of his bow staff somewhere. I'd like to try to glue it back together, but the teapot used to dangle from it. An Arthas helmet that I bought because it looked badass, and it was super expensive. A really, really cheap Stormtrooper I got from Target on clearance for like $5. I've got the Bandai Samurai Stormtrooper. I also have the Samurai Boba Fett as well, somewhere, but I don't have the Samurai Darth Vader yet. I think the coin came with the Battle for Azeroth Collector's Edition. Yeah. And a Tyrael. I don't know where that came from. BlizzCon, maybe. More Donny Cates. Basically a bunch of... Oh, no. Yeah. Donny Cates. Marvel stuff. Love it all. I was picking up the Zdarsky Daredevil in Deluxe, but I know there's an Omni coming, so I'll replace that once the whole run is done. I haven't read Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange yet. Middle Game is Eternal. Super good. Way better than the movie. or to be honest, the Kirby stuff. I'm not big on Silver Age. Or I guess 60s comic books. But that is what it is. Haven't read Marvels yet. Haven't read Kirby 6 Iron Man or Fractions Thor. This is so embarrassing. The official handbook of the Marvel Universe is super fun to just flip through. House of M, big fan. I love all the Bendis Avenger stuff I've read. Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel. I was reading this in single issues, so I decided to pick up the Omnibus. It's really good. Enjoyed it. Very fun. I tried getting into the Kelly Sue DeConnick Captain Marvel, and I know she's the one that like set the tone and the costume and all that kind of stuff, but I couldn't really get into it. I think it was missing a lot of context from the complete collection trade paperbacks dealing with like continuity that I just don't know. Infinity Gauntlet, really like it. It definitely, unlike a lot of old Marvel events, it delivers, and you see why people like it, why it's important. Haven't read the follow-ups yet. Haven't read Annihilation. I got these in like a blind box at one point, so just random Fantastic Four hardbacks I haven't read. Let me see if I can get the camera to behave here. Day War Johnson, love it. Wonder Woman Dead Earth, super good. Superman Year One, it's Frank Miller being Frank Miller. I like it for what it is. I like really like the sort of first batch of Black Label stuff. Harleen is very, very good. I got the Dragon Saladin Ahmed book. It's hard to shoot this low, sorry. In a Kickstarter. It's an indie book that Saladin Ahmed wrote. Haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm excited to try it out. Don't know why they did it in sort of the Black Label format and size. Ultimate X-Men. I was buying the Ultimate books, and so thought I'd get it and try it out. Not as good as Ultimate Spider-Man. But, that's kind of how a lot of the Ultimate stuff is. Ultimatum is, is what it is, and the Ultimates. But getting it all in Oversized so you can sort of follow along. Heroes Reborn, Heroes Return, Onslaught, kind of in my 90s section. Frick, how do I fix the angle here? Okay. I've never shot with a gimbal before. Absolute Watchmen. Got to have a copy of it, obviously. There's nothing to say that hasn't already been said. The Milestone Compendiums. I've read Static before, but I'd love to kind of reread all the classic stuff. I did pick up the relaunch of a bunch of the books in single issues, and enjoyed it. So I want to see kind of the origins of it all. This is a coffee table book of Hubble telescope pictures. It was literally, I kid you not, a textbook for one of my college classes called Descriptive Astronomy. Gave me a science credit. Thanks for that. Jim Lee art book, Alex Ross art books, Stranger Things library editions. I like the Stranger Things comics a lot. I hope they keep putting out the Oversized books. I'm going to be a little bit disappointed if they don't. Love Stranger Things, the show. Infinite Crisis. Big Jeff Johns fan. This is the way to do an event. Big fan. Tons of Daredevil. Haven't read any of it. Not going to lie to you. The Pat Contry Nintendo books. Yeah, fun to just flip through coffee table books, And then here starts the Batman shelves. I've got like 3 shelves of Batman. I've definitely scaled up this collection since I started doing the podcast. I didn't used to have as much Batman. Not the biggest fan of Grant Morrison, but it's important. And there's a lot of really cool ideas. I think it's more just the way that he kind of jumps around and doesn't really have a through line. He has an arc, but like jumps around from story to story. It's a little disjoint for me. Like I said, I hate that these are labeled. They're all labeled Long Halloween, even though like Haunted Night doesn't really have anything to do with it, except it was written by the same people. Same with When in Rome. But it's better to me than having the Omnibus, because when I want to read Long Halloween, which is like, let's be real, like 80% of the time, what I want to read, I can just pick that up off the shelf. I read that like every year, and read just the one. There's too many, so I'm not going to say anything about them. I'm just going to tell you that I have them. Death of the Family, Year 1, Year 2, Killing Joke, all the Dark Knight stuff, Returns, and the sequel, and the other sequels. Whatever Happened to Cape Crusader, Arkham Asylum, Noel, Batman Spawn, the Tom King run. I came to comics as an adult, so I was not a kid who read comics and then left and came back or anything like that. It was basically, when the MCU was hitting a fever pitch, I went to a local comic book store and I said, what should I buy? And they gave me the Volume 1 trade paperback of Tom King's Batman, along with Jason Aaron's Thor. And that was that. It was Tom King's Batman's like, I kid you not, like my first comic book Batman. And so I know the reasons people don't like it, but I really like it. It's cerebral. It's all about like what makes Batman tick, and treated me like an adult. And so I like it. The editorial stuff that I assume made issue 50 go the way it did. I understand. I get it. I understand why people don't like it, but definitely worth reading. All the Golden Age stuff, they get really expensive after this. I don't know why. Because like in 2019, when I started buying these, they were super cheap. You could get it on eBay for like $40. But I guess people didn't buy them when they were new, especially in the later volumes. And so like 6, 7, 8, they end up being like hundreds of dollars, and that really sucks. But I like to read things physical, and so whenever possible, when I'm researching for the show, I've been reading this one like crazy, because we're still like in the first year. A Silver Age Omni, Tynan's Detective Comics, super good. It's a Bat family book. Batman's hardly in it. But he once joked, like someone asked him on Twitter or something like that, like, oh, Tynan, when are you going to do an X-Men run? He's like, didn't you read Detective? Like that's my X-Men run. Super cool. Big spotlight on Batwoman and Spoiler, and kind of harkening back to the Tim Drake, even though he's not in it very much, kind of his story and his interactions with Spoiler from the 90s. So I like it. I'm a big fan. I've read the whole first volume of Scott Snyder's run on Batman. I haven't read the second one yet. Don't at me. I know, I'm bad. No Man's Land. I didn't read this Omni. I read it in trade paperback. I liked it. It's a lot like Nightfall, in that it's more of an era than an event. Like, there are things that are events, but they're kind of single issues peppered in, just like, this is what's happening in Gotham at this time, right? And that's cool. But I didn't like it as much as Nightfall. So I should say, I don't know which ones are which. I think these are the ones with the custom dust covers. I bought a lot of these on eBay used, and they had custom dust covers. There's some other volumes in here that will have custom dust covers as well. Because I'm always looking for a deal, and I'm looking for things that look good on the shelf. And yeah, so if you're wondering, like, I think this might be custom as well. This is Batman Eternal. Haven't read it yet, but yeah, if that's why you're wondering what the spines are, I didn't design them. I didn't get them printed. I didn't fold them. I bought them already done, and so I don't even know how one would do it. Batman and Robin, Tomasi, love it, super good. Batman 66, haven't had a chance to read it. Black and White, I didn't read in Omni. I've read some of the trades, so I've probably read like half of this. Hush, I really like Jeff Loeb and I really like Jim Lee, but and I understand why it was a big deal that they were working together. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of Hush as a story. Don't at me. White Knight, Man Who Laughs, Joker, Azarello. I don't have Damned. I need to pick up Damned in hardcover. I have it in soft covers with the bat penis and all. The uncensored soft cover. This is my original copy of Long Halloween. It's signed by Jeff Loeb. The Ra's al Ghul stuff, Tales of the Demon, Batman Universe, Love, Bendis. I think this one's signed too. Yeah, that one's signed by Bendis. The Imposter, super good. Three Jokers, very good. I'm a little upset that they're going straight to Absolute on Three Jokers. I'd love to have it in Deluxe. Like I said, there's not enough height on most of my shelves for Absolute editions. So I haven't decided if I'm going to upgrade that or not. Just caught up on Zdarsky's Batman. Love it. I don't have. I need to pick up a copy of The Knight. I can't wait for that to get collected and oversized. He gets Batman. Yeah. Batgirl, haven't really had a chance to read any of that. Although I did read the Rebirth runs in trade paperback. Both the team book, I forget what they called it. This is Batgirls and the Birds of Prey, maybe. And the main Batgirl book. Haven't had a chance to go back for the New 52 stuff. Batwoman, again, I read some of this in paperback, so I read like maybe half of this. Gotham Central, haven't had a chance to read it yet. And then this is all the post-crisis Batman books in trade paperback. I've read a little bit of it. Azrael, read all of that when I was reading the Nightfall stuff. It is 90s, but it's good 90s. I like Denny O'Neil. Batman Earth 1. I want all of the Earth 1 stuff to be an omnibus. I love Jeff Johns. It'd be great to have Batman, but all the other characters too. Under Red Hood, very, very good. Black Case book should probably be with the Grant Morrison Batman. Just bought it so I could try to make sense of what the hell is going on in those books. I love IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've only read the first 7. I need to catch up, so I'm about halfway through. Last Ronin was fun. I've read the first 2 Ghostbusters. Haven't read Transformers. Monstrous is great. Paper Girls is fantastic. I always recommend Paper Girls to new comic book readers. Once Your Future, I don't know. It reads better, way better in the trade than it did in single issues. It lost me in single issues, but then when I went back and read the oversized hardcover, it made more sense. So we'll see. I'll probably keep with it. Something is Killing the Children. I love. Something is Killing the Children. The House of Slaughter book, not so much, but the main book, super good. Can't wait for more of that to come out. Here's my Superman shelf for tomorrow. All-Star Superman, Last Sun, Unchained, Birthright, Camelot Falls. Haven't read most of this. but I want to. Superman, Batman. I have read the first 2 volumes of John Byrne Superman. Just need to read the other 2. I understand that it's like very foundational and it like sets the tone and it's like things that people mind and reference back to. So it's like good to read, but it's, it is what it is. It's like of its time. And I wouldn't even say it's like particularly great for comics from that era. I lean very towards modern comics, which is funny because I do a history podcast about comics. So take that as you will. I love Jeff Johns' Shazam a lot. It's great. Haven't had a chance to read Miracle Man yet. Klaus is great. I haven't decided if I'm going to buy the Omni, but every single version of Klaus or miniseries is fantastic. Here's my X-Men shelf. I basically haven't read anything before New X-Men, which I guess is a little shameful, but is what it is. Love New X-Men. Love Astonishing X-Men. And then, I haven't read the Wolverine stuff or Uncanny X-Force yet. I've heard it's great. But I have been reading everything in the Krakoa era. I love Benjamin Percy's X-Force and Wolverine. So that's kind of what I lean into. And I like Hickman's sort of continuity. So those are the things I bought in Oversized, is all of the Hickman stuff. House and Powers of 10, Inferno, X of Swords, and X-Men. So all the Hickman stuff, all the Benjamin Percy stuff. God damn it, you can't see that. I struggle with the gimbal a little bit, but you get the idea. All right, this is random junk. This is a droid I built at Disneyland. Random things, Haunted Mansion. Everyone is awesome. Lego, the Hulk, Harry Potter shelf. Yep, and random junk, a Mac I built out of Lego. Jeff Johns' Flash. I've read some of it, not all of it. I did read everything in Flashpoint. All of the tie-ins and everything. Love it. Francis Manipal's Flash. I read it like half of it in trades and then upgraded to Omnibus. Haven't read the whole thing yet. Swamp Thing, New 52. I think I read the first trade. Wonder Woman, the Hecate, have not read. Akira, haven't read. Jeff Johns, Green Lantern, haven't read. I think these are custom dust jackets as well. Hina Matsuri, I don't know how to pronounce it, is an amazing manga. My comic book store recommended it to me. I recommend it to you. It's like about a little girl who's like an alien maybe or something. We're not really sure. She arrives from another world in an egg and is taken in by like a Yakuza member, and they live together and he becomes a dad, and it is quirky. Japan. Captain America. Haven't read anything except for the Brubaker stuff. I can't wait for them to reprint more of the Brubaker run because I think there's 2 more Omnis. Love to finish it at some point. Captain Britain and the Knights of Pendragon. I don't know. I want to read it. I'm embarrassed I haven't. Moving on. The Stranger Things Lego kit. Love it. Super good. This is the... I found the exact Scarab that Bill Finger had, and was gifted by Charles Sinclair to Mark Tyler Nobleman. So if you listen to the podcast, I did a bunch of research to find out who manufactured them and when. And if you know the right search terms, you can find them online because it was a tchotchke. They sold a lot of them, and I got this on eBay for like $10 or something like that. So I have the exact same Scarab that Bill Finger had, which is cool. Part of the podcast story. Some Batman Lego stuff, some helmets in the Batmobile. I moved with a lot of these Legos. I wrapped them all in saran wrap. I can't believe they are all intact. But some things didn't make it. So this was Luke's helmet, and it's in pieces. I hope to try to put it back together at some point. I have a junk ton of Amiibo. I'd like to put them on stands or something. Star Wars Pops. It's kind of embarrassing. I need to figure out a display solution for that. Thor's Hammer, Lego. New 52, Wonder Woman, I've read some of it. New Teen Titans, I've read some of it. Teen Titans by Jeff Johns, haven't read any of it. He-Man, haven't read any of it. Jeff Johns' Aquaman, love it. Super good. JLA and Tower of Babel, haven't read it yet. Want to. Jeff Johns' Justice League, super good. Read all of it. Events and everything. Murder Falcon and Curse Words, haven't read it yet. I'm like halfway through Robin. These are custom made Omnis that I bought on eBay. I hesitate to tell you because then I'll have competition. But if you make saved searches on eBay for like custom Omnibus, custom bound comics, things like that, make 2 or 3 searches, and then just check back every day, you will find people who make amazing custom comic book runs. So I'm still trying to get Impulse. I actually have all the singles of Impulse. I might get it custom bound myself, but that's a lot of work. It's easier to let someone else do it for you. But yeah, this is all of the Tim Drake Robin stuff. I think it even has, I'm not sure, I think it might even have some Red Robin stuff, or maybe it's everything up until Red Robin. I'm not sure. But I'm like halfway through. Haven't read any of the Superboy yet, want to, and Young Justice, like I said, Impulse. I'm like just into that era. Some Batman custom binds. I don't even know what's in them. I'm going to be real with you. These were kind of expensive. I did get a complete custom bound set of Malibu, which is like junk 90s comics. But like it was the entire set for like $100 or $150. It's like, man, when am I going to get a chance to get just tons of pristine, like 90s, custom bound comics in hardback again? And so like I just snatched it up. I haven't read any of it. Probably going to hate it. But like it's a snapshot. It's history. It was cheap. I'll probably hold on to it until I decide that it's taking up too much space on my bookshelf. This is the whole Howard Chaykin run of The Shadow, custom bound. Can't wait to read that. There's the rest of the Death and Return of Superman. Gail Simone's Birds of Prey. I think that's all of the trade paperbacks they put out. It's not a complete run. I'd like them to finish it. There's a random Jeff Johns Green Lantern trade paperback I need to get rid of because I have the omnibuses now. Oh, we're almost done. Okay. Some just random Avengers figures and Infinity Gauntlet, Lego, more Lego Star Wars helmets, my Boba Fett shelf with the Bandai Samurai and some Lego stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pops. Here's just kind of like a history shelf. The 80 years books, they're great. Who's Who, it's like the Marvel Handbook, fun to just flip through, coffee table book kind of thing. Young Avengers, I've read all of the Young Avengers in trade paperback, loved it. I think they're building towards it in the movies. Really excited to see what they do. Hopefully they can write the course. I know the MCU phase 4, whatever phase they're on, has been a little rough. But I think there's a good story to tell there if they can get to it. Bunch of random New 52 and Rebirth trade paperbacks. Yep, not worth talking about. From Hell, haven't read it. Need to, want to. Random Shadow pulp book. This is the one we talked about on the podcast. That has all of the Batman inspiration stories. Witches, haven't had a chance to read it yet. Want to. I'm not the biggest Scott Snyder fan, but I do like him, especially in his sort of like one-off stories. Like I think it's inarguable that Court of Owls is like one of the greatest, but like the Batman run, sort of in the long term, it's still good, but it doesn't sort of reach those heights. And so I imagine Witches is probably really fantastic. Like I really loved We Have Demons, and he really makes these really compelling sort of small stories. Invincible, I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Infinite Crisis, I need to get rid of the trade paperback. I've got the Omnibus now. Scooby Apocalypse, really like that. A bunch of not comic books. James Bond, George R.R. Martin, some California books, World of Warcraft. Yotsuba, I was going to teach myself how to read Japanese, don't want to talk about it. This is the adaptation of the Steve Jobs autobiography, like the authorized, like Walter Isaacson. I think it's hilarious that they did that, so I bought that. Steve's, which is a manga about Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. It's just freaking hilarious that this exists. So, yeah. Bunch of computer books. I'm a computer programmer. I don't want to talk too much about it, except to say some of these are written by people I know, or people who are into the industry that I'm adjacent to, or are about them. Yep. Work stuff. Manga. I love Case Closed. It's so good. It's just, a little kid solving murder mysteries. It's very, Sherlock Holmes inspired, but I like that they give you a chance to try to solve the mystery yourself. And they've got little diagrams and, recaps, and it's very, visual novel kind of thing. If you've ever played one of those, it's that in a book. So it's a novel, I guess, graphic novel. Haikyuu, haven't had a chance to read. Full Metal Alchemist, haven't read. Demon Slayer, I read this just a little bit. Liked it okay. Lone Wolf and Cub, haven't had a chance to read it yet. Scott Pilgrim, love it. World of Warcraft, I've read all of this. It's not great. Uzumaki, haven't read it yet. No, I need to. I cannot stand the Dr. Stone manga, but the books are fun. Spy Family, haven't read. Shaman King, haven't read. Slam Dunk is amazing. Again, I tried the anime. There's no dub; it's only subs, and it's paced really slow, and you can just burn through the books. Books are so good. Love Slam Dunk. Way the House Husband, very quirky, fun book. Do recommend. Just a lot of little skits. Death Note, because I'm vanilla and boring. The Zelda manga, not great. The Bat manga, we're definitely talking about this on the show at some point. It's what it sounds like. It's Japanese Batman from the 60s. Super fun. And quirky and interesting and weird. Dragon Ball. Self-explanatory. Harry Potter. The sort of illustrated versions. They're only up to year 5, and the artist that's been doing it is quitting. So hopefully they can find someone else to pick up the torch that does good. This is a bunch of history books, part of the set of things I use to do research. Batman: The Complete History by Les Daniels, Jerry Robinson book. Tom Andre's created the superheroes. This is absolutely the best book for doing research. Batman and Me by Bob Kane, actually by Tom Andre. This is the Jennifer DeRoss Gardner Fox book that we talked about on one of the episodes. Bill the Boy Wonder, the Mark Twain Nobleman book. Super cool having him on the show. American Comics, I referenced this a lot in the book that was just about the history of comics themselves, not Batman. Jeremy Dauber. I'd like to have him on the show at some point. I haven't read Super Gods, the Grant Morrison book. 10 Cent Plague, we'll be talking about the Comics Code. Here's a reprint of Seduction of the Innocent by Wortham. This is the book that kind of kicked it off. The Tashman books are good if you just want to see Golden Age art. They're not as good on actually telling the history. There is a little bit of text in there, but it's just fun. Yeah. Understanding Comics, you got to read it. The Van Lente books and the sequels, super, super important to getting what makes it all work. And then just some fiction. I really like Dan Brown. Some random New 52 trade paperbacks for some reason. And box copies of a bunch of King's Quest, because my wife is really into King's Quest. So, that's it. That's my library. Like I said, it's a mess. It's not really organized very well. Didn't go into too much detail, but I hope you liked it. If you want more detail on any particular book, you have opinions about how I should organize, leave them down below. And if you like it, then I'll come back and I'll make some more as I get new books, as I reorganize, as I consolidate, as I sell things. That's my library.